God says, an unexpected call will change everything. It's already scheduled. Open this urgently before 11:57 p.m. This is not a casual message. This is not a random video you stumbled upon. This is not coincidence. There are moments in life when heaven interrupts the ordinary, and this is one of them. You may have clicked on this without knowing why. You may have felt a sudden pull, a quiet urgency in your spirit that you could not explain. That was not emotion. That was not curiosity. It was divine timing aligning with your present moment. The phrase unexpected call may sound simple, but in the spirit, it carries weight. Throughout history, God has used sudden calls to shift destinies. A shepherd became a king because of a call. A fisherman became a world changer because of a call. An ordinary day turned into a defining moment because heaven decided it was time. And right now, according to this prophetic word, something has already been scheduled in your life. Not might be. Lot can be. Already scheduled. Why 11:57 p.m.? Why such urgency? Because spiritually, 11:57 p.m. represents the final minutes before a shift. It is the edge of one day and the beginning of another. It is the space between what was and what is about to be. 3 minutes before midnight is symbolic of divine acceleration, of last-minute reversals, of sudden turnarounds. It represents the moment when delay runs out and destiny steps in. And God is saying this: you are closer than you think. The clock is not ticking against you. It is ticking for you. Your divine appointments that are set long before we ever see them manifest. Heaven operates on a calendar that does not always match human understanding. You may have felt delayed. You may have felt overlooked. You may have wondered why doors remain closed. But what if the door was not locked? What if it was simply scheduled? What if God was waiting for the exact second when all pieces align, when the timing is perfect, when the call will not just bless you but position you permanently? This message is urgent because divine timing demands awareness. Many miss their moment not because God failed to act, but because they failed to discern. The unexpected call will not look dramatic at first. It may come through a conversation, a message, an opportunity, a sudden idea, a name placed on your heart. It may not arrive with thunder. It may come quietly, but it will carry authority. And if you are spiritually asleep, you may dismiss it as ordinary. God is saying, wake up. Pay attention. This is not the hour to be distracted. This is not the season to be passive. Something hath been orchestrated behind the scenes. Conversations you know nothing about. Doors being prepared that you have not knocked on. Hearts being softened in places you thought were permanently closed. There is movement in the unseen realm. There is coordination happening beyond your vision. You have prayed for change. You have asked for confirmation. You have cried in silence for something to break open. And now, heaven responds with a scheduled call. But here is the warning. Urgency is attached to this word for a reason. 11:57 p.m. is not about fear. It is about readiness. It is about being spiritually alert when the moment comes. Because when God moves suddenly, hesitation can create delay. This is why you had to hear this now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Because preparation happens before manifestation. Awareness happens before activation. God does not reveal timing to create panic. He reveals it to create positioning. He is positioning you emotionally, spiritually, mentally. He is aligning your heart so that when the unexpected call arrives, you will not doubt it. You will recognize it. Some of you have been feeling a strange tension lately. a sense that something is about to happen, restlessness in your spirit, sudden thoughts about change, unusual dreams, a pull toward something new. That is not random. That is alignment. The reason this feels urgent is because the shift is closer than you imagined. Do not ignore this. Do not scroll past this moment lightly. There are seasons when heaven whispers, and there are seasons when heaven sounds an alarm. This is an alarm, not of destruction but of breakthrough, not of loss but of transformation. God is announcing that what is coming will not be small. It will change everything. And here is the deeper truth. The call has your name on it. It is tailored to your prayers, your tears, your faithfulness when no one was watching. It is connected to battles you survived and tests you endured. It is not random blessing. It is appointed destiny. So before the clock strikes midnight, before this day closes, open your heart. Lean in. Become aware. Something is already in motion. Something is already scheduled. And when it rings, it will not ask if you are ready. It will reveal that heaven decided it was time. There is a pattern in the way God moves, and if you study it carefully, you will notice something powerful. The most life-altering moments rarely announce themselves in advance. They arrive suddenly. They interrupt routines. They disrupt comfort. They break into ordinary days without warning. And that is exactly why this unexpected call will change everything. It will not look like what you imagined. It will not arrive the way you rehearsed in your mind. It will not follow your timeline. But it will carry divine authority. God specializes in sudden shifts. One moment you are tending sheep, and the next you are standing before a prophet. One moment you are casting nets into familiar waters, and the next you are called to walk on waves you never thought possible. One moment you are hiding in fear, and the next you are stepping into courage you did not know you possessed. Heaven's calls are rarely convenient. They are transformational. The reason it feels unexpected is because God often works beyond human anticipation. You have been watching certain doors, expecting certain answers, waiting for specific people to respond. But God may choose a different channel. He may use someone you overlooked. He may open a door you did not knock on. He may shift something you had already given up on. And when it happens, it will feel sudden to you, even though it was scheduled in the spirit. This is the difference between coincidence and calling. Coincidence feels random. Calling carries weight. Coincidence fades quickly. Calling stays with you. When this unexpected call comes, you will feel it in your spirit. There will be a conviction, a clarity, a strange peace mixed with holy urgency. You may even feel unqualified at first. You may question whether it is really happening. But deep down, you will know. Because when God calls, something inside you responds. Many people miss divine interruptions because they are too attached to predictability. They want clarity before obedience. They want guarantees before movement. But God often reveals the next step only after you say yes. The unexpected call is not about having all the details. It is about having faith. It is about trusting that the one who scheduled it has already prepared the outcome. Right now, some of you are in a season where everything feels ordinary. The days blend together. The routine feels repetitive. You are faithful, but you are tired. You are hopeful, but you are wondering when something will finally shift. And that is exactly when God moves. He waits until you least expect it. He waits until you have surrendered the timeline. Then suddenly, the phone rings. The message appears. The opportunity presents itself. And nothing is the same again. This call will not only change your circumstances, It will change your direction. It will move you from waiting to walking, from praying to participating, from hoping to stepping forward. And here's what you must understand. When heaven initiates a call, it is never small. It may start small, but its impact is eternal. Some of you have been praying for confirmation. Others have been asking for clarity. Some of you have been pleading for a breakthrough so specific that you thought no one understood it but you. And now, God is saying, I have heard you. The answer may not look like what you expected, but it will carry the solution you need. This is why you cannot afford to ignore sudden opportunities in this season. This is why you must guard your sensitivity to the Spirit. The unexpected call may require courage. It may require stepping away from something familiar. It may require forgiving someone. It may require saying yes to something bigger than your comfort zone. But when you answer, you step into alignment. If His word is resonating with you right now, if something in your spirit is stirring as you listen, I want you to act in faith. Like this video is a sign that you are ready for what God is about to release. Share it with someone who needs to hear that their unexpected call is closer than they think. Comment I receive below as a declaration that you are prepared to answer when heaven calls your name. And if you have not already, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications, because prophetic timing matters. When God is speaking, you do not want to miss the moment. The call you did not see coming is not meant to confuse you. It is meant to elevate you. It is not here to disrupt your life negatively. It is here to redirect you divinely. And when it arrives, you will realize that what felt sudden was actually mercy in motion. The unexpected call is already scheduled. And very soon, what once seemed impossible will begin to unfold in ways you could not have scripted yourself. Before you were aware of it, before you sensed the shift, before you even clicked on this message, the appointment was already written. God is saying clearly, this is not developing in real time. It has already been scheduled in the Spirit. Heaven does not react impulsively. Heaven prepares intentionally. What feels sudden to you had been carefully aligned behind the veil of the unseen realm. There is a divine calendar that does not hang on your wall. There is a spiritual clock that does not tick with human seconds. And on that calendar, your name is written beside moments that cannot be erased. This unexpected call is one of those moments. It is not random. It is not accidental. It is not a last-minute decision in heaven. It was marked long before this day arrived. Some of you have been wrestling with delay. You have asked why not sooner. You have wondered why prayers seemed to echo without response. You have questioned whether something went wrong along the way. But delay is not denial when God is involved. Delay is often divine synchronization. If it had happened earlier, you would not have been ready. If it had happened later, you might have missed the window. But now, this timing is precise. God schedules breakthrough the same way He schedules purpose, strategically. There are people who must be in position. There are lessons that must be learned. There is strength that must be developed. There are distractions that must fall away. And when all of it aligns, the call is released. Not a second too early. Not a second too late. You may not see the preparation, but that does not mean it has not been happening. Conversations have already taken place that involve your future. Doors have already been unlocked in rooms you have never entered. Decisions are being influenced in your favor. Hearts are being softened. Circumstances are being rearranged. While you were praying, heaven was coordinating. This is why something inside you has felt different lately. A heightened awareness. A quiet anticipation. Perhaps even unusual resistance. When something is scheduled in the spirit, the atmosphere begins to shift before the manifestation arrives. You may have felt tension in places that were once calm. You may have noticed sudden distractions trying to pull your focus away. That is not coincidence. When destiny approaches, opposition often reacts. But here is the powerful truth. Nothing can cancel what God has scheduled. People cannot override it. Fear cannot erase it. Doubt cannot delete it. The only thing that can delay your experience of it is your unwillingness to respond when it comes. And that is why this message is urgent. Awareness prepares you for activation. There are divine appointments that change the trajectory of a life in a single moment. One phone call, one conversation, one invitation, one instruction, and suddenly the path shifts. What you thought was permanent becomes temporary. What you thought was over begins again. What you thought was impossible becomes accessible. The spiritual realm operates with intentional design. Every breakthrough has a timestamp. Every elevation has a moment of release. And when God says it is already scheduled, He means the decision has been made. Heaven is not debating your worthiness. Heaven is not reconsidering your future. The approval has already been stamped. Some of you have been asking for a sign. Let this be your confirmation. The restlessness was a sign. The stirring in your spirit was a sign. The way this message found you at this exact time is a sign. God does not reveal scheduled moments without purpose. He reveals them to prepare your heart. And preparation is critical, because when the call comes, it may require immediate obedience. It may require courage without consultation. It may require stepping forward without full explanation. When something is scheduled in the spirit, it moves with divine momentum. You will not have weeks to analyze it. You will have a moment to answer. That is why your sensitivity matters right now. Guard your peace. Guard your focus. Guard your faith. The enemy often intensifies distractions when something powerful is approaching. If he cannot cancel the appointment, he will try to cloud your discernment. Stay spiritually alert. Here is the retention you need to hear. What I am about to reveal next will expose why this scheduled call is larger than you imagined. The depth of what is being aligned goes beyond your personal breakthrough. You will be glad you leaned in for what is coming. Before we move forward, seal this moment with faith. Type "my time is SET" in the comments if this resonates with you. Lesson code 314 is now activated over your life. Let this number remind you that divine order is governing your steps. This is the moment where obedience becomes participation in God's plan. If this word is awakening something deep within you, I need to speak to your spirit about partnership. When you sow into this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, using the link in the description or the PayPal QR code flashing on your screen, you are not supporting a channel. You are fueling a harvest of souls. Scripture declares that God gives seed to the sower and multiplies it. When you release your seed, heaven releases increase. I hear the Lord saying, as you pour oil into this work, I will pour oil upon your house. I am inviting you now to act in faith, because this is not a donation. It is a prophetic response to a scheduled move of God. Those who sow into spreading His word will reap in due season, and that season is closer than you think. As you give, may open heavens follow you, may unexpected favor locate you, and may the same divine appointment accelerate in your life. Step into obedience and sow your seed now. Whenever God schedules something significant, resistance begins to rise. It is not random. It is not coincidence. It is a reaction. The enemy does not panic over ordinary days. He reacts to destiny moments. And if you have felt unusual distractions, unexpected frustrations, or sudden emotional heaviness lately, there is a reason. Something has been scheduled in your favor, and darkness sensed movement before you did. Think about it. Right before major breakthroughs in your past, did you not face unusual pressure? Right before clarity came, did confusion try to cloud your thoughts? Right before peace settled in, did anxiety attempt to shake your confidence? This pattern is not accidental. When heaven prepares to release something that will change everything, the enemy attempts to create noise. Distraction is one of his most effective tools. Not destruction, not dramatic failure. Distraction. Because if he cannot stop what God has scheduled, you will try to divert your attention from recognizing it. You will fill your days with busyness. You will magnify small problems. You will stir misunderstandings. You will attempt to pull your focus toward things that drain you instead of position you. Some of you have experienced arguments that came out of nowhere. Others have felt waves of doubt that seem stronger than usual. Some have battled sudden fatigue, lack of motivation, or emotional instability that felt foreign to your normal rhythm. You may have wondered, why now? Why is this happening all at once? It is happening because you are approaching a shift. The enemy studies patterns. He recognizes spiritual momentum. When your prayers begin to align with God's timing, when your faith matures to the point of readiness, when your obedience qualifies you for elevation, resistance increases. Not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. You must understand this clearly. The enemy is not fighting you for where you are. He is reacting to where you are about to be. The unexpected call that is scheduled will reposition you. It will lift you. It will connect you. It will unlock influence and opportunity that extends beyond your current level. And anything that advances God's purpose in your life threatens what darkness tried to maintain. That is why the attacks feel strategic. That is why distractions feel targeted. That is why you may have noticed old fears resurfacing. When breakthrough is near, the enemy often resurrects past insecurities to make you question your readiness. He whispers you are not prepared. He suggests you are not worthy. He magnifies past mistakes to cloud present favor. But here is the truth. If you were truly unqualified, there would be no need for opposition. Resistance is often confirmation. The pressure you feel is not a sign of failure. It is evidence of value. No one fights for empty territory. Battles occur over something precious. Some of you almost missed this moment because you were tired. You almost ignored this message because you were distracted. You almost convinced yourself that nothing significant was happening. But God interrupted your scrolling. He interrupted your routine. He allowed this word to find you because distraction was trying to win. The enemy's strategy is subtle. He rarely announces his intentions. Instead, he plants seeds of doubt. He amplifies minor inconveniences. He uses people's misunderstandings to shake your peace. He attempts to exhaust your faith before the call arrives. Because if you are too drained, you may not answer confidently. But hear this clearly. The distractions were not proof that God forgot you. They were proof that something powerful is close. The pressure was not punishment. It was prelude. The confusion was not permanent. It was a tactic. And tactics fail when they are exposed. Now that you see the pattern, you can respond differently. Instead of reacting emotionally, you stand spiritually alert. Instead of engaging every argument, you guard your peace. Instead of entertaining every doubt, you anchor yourself in truth. You recognize that not every battle deserves your energy. Some battles are designed only to delay your focus. There is also another reason the enemy tried to distract you. Elevation requires separation. As you approach a scheduled shift, certain attachments begin to loosen. Some relationships grow uncomfortable. Some environments feel restrictive. Some habits lose their appeal. And in that transition, the enemy tries to convince you to cling to what God is asking you to outgrow. Do not mistake discomfort for danger. Sometimes discomfort is growth. Sometimes tension is transition. When God prepares to elevate you through an unexpected call, He begins to detach you from what cannot accompany you. And that detachment can feel unsettling. But it is necessary. You are not under attack because you are failing. You are under resistance because you are advancing. And the enemy's greatest fear is that you will recognize your moment and answer boldly. He fears your obedience more than your potential. Potential does nothing until it moves. Obedience activates destiny. So when the call comes, do not let lingering doubt silence you. Do not let fatigue slow you. Do not let distractions steal your clarity. You have already survived the resistance phase. You have already endured the pressure. You have already proven your resilience. The enemy tried to distract you because he sensed what was scheduled. But he cannot cancel what God has written. He cannot erase what heaven has approved. And he cannot stop what you are spiritually prepared to receive. The noise was loud because the breakthrough is larger than you imagined. And now that you see it clearly, the distractions lose their power. There are moments in life when everything feels slow. Prayers seem delayed. Progress appears minimal. Doors remain closed longer than expected. You move forward, but only inch by inch. And then suddenly, without warning, the pace changes. What once crawled begins to run. What once resisted begins to yield. What once delayed begins to align. This is what happens when divine acceleration is released. The unexpected call that is already scheduled is not just about change. It is about speed. God is not only shifting your direction, He is compressing time. He is restoring what felt lost. He is accelerating what seemed stalled. And when heaven decides to move quickly, years of effort can manifest in a single moment. You may have felt like you were behind, watching others advance, seeing opportunities pass you by, wondering if your moment had expired. But God does not operate according to comparison. He operates according to calling. And when your appointed time arrives, it does not matter how long you waited. What matters is that you are aligned. Divine acceleration does not ignore the process. It fulfills it. Every lesson you learned during the waiting season was preparation. Every tear you cried strengthened your capacity. Every closed door refined your discernment. Nothing was wasted. It was all building toward this release point. When the call comes, things will begin to move rapidly. Conversations that once stalled will progress smoothly. Opportunities that seemed distant will appear within reach. Clarity will replace confusion. Confidence will replace hesitation. It will feel as though invisible barriers have suddenly dissolved. This is the sound of acceleration. It does not always come with noise. Sometimes it is quiet momentum, a steady flow, a series of small yeses that open into larger doors. But you will sense the difference. You will feel the shift in the atmosphere around you. You will notice how resistance weakens. You will recognize that what once required force now requires faith. Acceleration also brings restoration. There are seasons you believed were lost forever. Time you cannot reclaim. Opportunities that seem permanently missed. But God has a way of restoring in one season what took years to diminish. He can rebuild confidence in a moment. He can restore finances through a single opportunity. He can mend relationships through one honest conversation. He can position your career through one unexpected connection. The scheduled call carries more than information. It carries movement. It carries divine endorsement. It carries the authority to propel you into spaces you once only imagined. But acceleration requires readiness. When speed increases, hesitation becomes costly. You must be prepared to move when the instruction comes. Some people pray for acceleration but resist change. They want speed without adjustment. But when God accelerates you, He may also shift your environment. He may require you to release comfort. He may call you into unfamiliar territory. Acceleration often feels like stepping onto moving ground. You cannot cling to what was while stepping into what is. This is why discernment matters now more than ever. Not every fast opportunity is divine acceleration. Some are distractions disguised as progress. True divine speed carries peace. Even if it feels bold, it will not feel chaotic. It will stretch you, but it will not break you. It will challenge you, but it will confirm itself repeatedly. As this acceleration unfolds, you may notice something else. Doors that once intimidated you will no longer seem unreachable. Places that felt exclusive will feel accessible. Conversations you once feared will feel natural. It will be as though grace has expanded your capacity overnight. And here is the deeper revelation. Acceleration is not just about you. When God speeds up your breakthrough, it often impacts others connected to you. Your family may experience favor. Your circle may receive clarity. Your obedience may unlock blessing for those who never even knew what you were carrying. Divine speed has ripple effects. You must also guard humility in this season. Acceleration can be overwhelming. Things may begin to happen so quickly that you struggle to process them. But remain grounded. Remember who scheduled this. Remember who orchestrated the timing. Remember that the same God who accelerates you sustains you. There will be moments when you look back and realize how perfectly everything aligned. You will see how delays protected you. You will understand why certain doors closed. You will recognize how preparation disguised itself as waiting. And you will see that nothing about your journey was random. The unexpected call is not arriving to create chaos. It is arriving to create momentum. It is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to propel you. And when divine acceleration begins, the season of stagnation ends decisively. Get ready for movement. Get ready for progress. Get ready for doors opening in rapid succession. What once felt slow is about to feel swift. What once felt distant is about to feel near. What once felt postponed is about to manifest. Heaven has already scheduled the call. And when it comes, time itself will seem to cooperate with your destiny. The unexpected call that is already scheduled is not only about timing. It is also about people. Destiny is rarely fulfilled in isolation. When God prepares a shift that will change everything, He assigns individuals to play specific roles in that moment. Some will open doors. Some will deliver information. Some will confirm what you already sensed. And some will step aside because their role in your journey has ended. You must understand this clearly. Divine appointments often travel through human vessels. The call may come from a person, but the orchestration is from God. It may sound like an ordinary conversation, but it carries supernatural alignment. It may appear as a simple invitation, but it holds the key to your next season. There are destiny connectors assigned to your life. These are people who carry access, insight, opportunity, or favor that aligns with your calling. You do not force these connections. You do not manipulate them into existence. They are scheduled just like the call itself. At the right moment, paths cross. Conversations unfold naturally. Recognition happens without struggle. Some of you have already met individuals who will be part of this shift, but you did not recognize their significance at first. Others are about to encounter someone new who will feel strangely familiar, as if your spirits recognize each other before your minds catch up. That is how divine alignment works. There is ease in it. There is confirmation in it. But not everyone connected to you now is meant to go where you are going. Elevation requires discernment. As you approach this scheduled call, you may notice shifts in relationships. Some people who once supported you may begin to misunderstand you. Others may distance themselves without explanation. This is not always rejection. Sometimes it is redirection. When God prepares to move you forward, He separates you from environments that cannot sustain your next level. The unexpected call may require courage, and not everyone around you will understand it. Some may question your decision. Some may advise caution rooted in fear. But you must discern the difference between wise counsel and limiting belief. There will also be divine helpers assigned to support your transition. These individuals may speak life when you feel uncertain. They may provide practical assistance. They may open networks you could not access alone. Their presence will not feel forced. It will feel timely. Their words will not confuse you. They will clarify. Pay attention to who brings peace into your life during this season. Pay attention to who encourages your growth rather than resents it. Pay attention to who celebrates your progress instead of competing with it. These are indicators of alignment. The scheduled call may also involve reconciliation. For some of you, a person from your past may reappear, not to disrupt you but to resolve something unfinished. It may be an apology. It may be closure. It may be restoration. Not every reconnection is meant to resume the old relationship, but some are meant to release peace before you move forward. At the same time, discernment is crucial. Not every sudden reappearance is divine. Some connections return to test whether you have truly outgrown what once held you back. The difference will be revealed through fruit. True divine connections bring clarity, growth, and peace. Counterfeit ones bring confusion, pressure, and regression. The unexpected call may place you in rooms you never imagined entering. In those rooms, you will encounter new voices, new perspectives, and new opportunities. You may initially feel unqualified, but remember, if God scheduled it, you belong there. You are not stepping into that space by accident. You are stepping into it by appointment. This is also a season to guard your inner circle. When acceleration begins, not everyone needs access to your plans. Share wisely. Move quietly when necessary. Let results speak before announcements do. There is power in preparation that is not publicly displayed. As the call approaches, you may sense a narrowing of your focus. Certain relationships will grow stronger. Others will fade naturally. Do not force what is fading. Do not chase what is leaving. When God schedules a shift, He also manages the alignment of people around you. There is comfort in knowing that you are not navigating this alone. The right voices will appear. The right support will surround you. The right confirmations will surface. And the right people will recognize the grace on your life without you having to explain it. This call is not just changing your circumstances. It is refining your circle. It is clarifying your connections. It is strengthening the relationships that align with your purpose and gently releasing those that do not. Trust the divine orchestration of people in this season. Trust the timing of introductions. Trust the wisdom in separation. Trust the alignment in reconnection. Every person involved in this scheduled call has a role, whether for a moment or a lifetime. And when the call comes, you will see clearly who was meant to walk with you into what God prepared next. There is something sacred about the final minutes before midnight. The world may treat it like any other ticking second, but spiritually, it represents a threshold, a crossing point, a narrow window between what has been and what is about to begin. And when God says, "Open this urgently before 11:57 p.m., He is revealing more than a time. He is revealing a window. Windows do not stay open forever. They are opportunities framed by timing. They are invitations surrounded by urgency. And the window before 11:57 p.m. symbolizes a divine moment that requires alertness. It is not about fear. It is about readiness. It is about recognizing that when heaven creates an opening, hesitation can cost momentum. You have been in a waiting season. You have been in preparation. You have been learning, growing, enduring. But now you are standing near a threshold. And thresholds are uncomfortable places. They require decision. They require movement. They require faith that steps forward even when the full picture is not visible. The final minutes before midnight carry intensity. There is anticipation in the air. There is a quiet awareness that something is about to shift. That is what this season feels like in the spirit. You may not see physical evidence yet, but you sense that change is near. You feel it in subtle ways: restlessness, expectation, heightened awareness. This window exists because divine timing is precise. God does not rush, but He also does not delay without reason. When He signals urgency, it is because the alignment is complete. The pieces are in place. The call is ready to manifest. And your response determines how smoothly you step into it. Some people approach windows cautiously. They overanalyze. They wait for perfect certainty. They ask for repeated confirmation. But windows are not designed for endless contemplation. They are designed for response. If you linger too long, the moment passes. Not because God revoked it, but because obedience requires action. The instruction to open this before 11:57 p.m. is symbolic of spiritual alertness. It is a reminder that some blessings arrive quietly and must be recognized quickly. Not every breakthrough announces itself loudly. Some begin with a whisper, a thought, a nudge, a subtle prompting that requires courage to follow. This is why distraction hath been dangerous in this season. Distraction dulls awareness. It makes sacred moments feel ordinary. It causes you to overlook what you prayed for because it does not match your expectation. The enemy understands windows. He knows he cannot permanently block what God has scheduled, but he hopes to delay your participation in it. You must resist hesitation rooted in fear. A window is not meant to intimidate you. It is meant to invite you. God would not schedule something for you without also equipping you for it. The same grace that prepared the moment will empower your response. There is also mercy in this timing. The final minutes before midnight are not about pressure. They are about opportunity. It is as if heaven is saying, "This is your moment to align. This is your moment to believe. This is your moment to step forward." It is not a countdown to loss. It is a countdown to release. Think about how many times in your life you sensed a prompting but ignored it. How many times you delayed a decision only to realize later that the opportunity had shifted. This time is different. This time you are aware. This time you have been warned. This time you recognize that something is scheduled. The window before 11:57 p.m. also represents the final stretch of endurance. You are closer than you think. The pressure you felt was not the end. It was the edge. The confusion you battled was not permanent. It was transitional. The weariness you carried was not defeat. It was preparation for crossing. When midnight arrives, a new day begins instantly. There is no gradual transition. It happens in a second. That is how divine shifts often unfold. One moment you are in one season. The next moment you are in another. The change feels sudden, but the preparation was gradual. So what do you do in this window? You position your heart. You quiet your doubts. You renew your faith. You remind yourself of what God has spoken. You release the fear of missing it by choosing to be fully present. You stop assuming there will always be more time. This is not about striving. It is about aligning. It is about being spiritually awake enough to recognize the sound of the call when it comes. It is about trusting that if God highlighted the timing, it is because the timing matters. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are standing at a window, and windows are invitations to see beyond your current view. As 11:57 p.m. approaches, whether literally or symbolically, understand this. The shift is not in the clock. It is in your readiness. The unexpected call has already been scheduled. The pieces are aligned. The people are positioned. The acceleration is prepared. Now you stand at the threshold. When the unexpected call finally comes and you choose to answer, something shifts immediately. Not just around you, but within you. There is a divine exchange that happens in the moment of obedience. Fear begins to loosen its grip. Confusion starts to dissolve. And clarity rises like light breaking through darkness. Answering the call is not just about picking up a phone or saying yes to an opportunity. It is about alignment. It is about stepping into agreement with what heaven has already scheduled. The moment you respond, you move from waiting into participation. You move from prayer into manifestation. The first thing you will notice is a change in atmosphere. Situations that once felt heavy will begin to feel lighter. Conversations that once felt strained will begin to flow. It will not mean that every challenge disappears instantly, but there will be a distinct shift. You will sense that momentum has started. Peace will accompany your obedience. Not necessarily comfort, but peace. There is a difference. Comfort keeps you where you are. Peace assures you while you move forward. When the call is truly from God, even if it stretches you, it will carry an underlying confidence that you cannot explain logically. Doors that were previously locked may begin to open in unexpected ways. A person who was unresponsive may suddenly become cooperative. An opportunity that seemed out of reach may move closer. Resources that felt scarce may begin to multiply. The change may not be dramatic at first, but it will be undeniable. You may also experience internal confirmation. A scripture you read weeks ago may suddenly make sense. A dream you dismissed may become clear. Advice someone gave you in passing may now feel prophetic. When you answer the call, pieces of your past preparation begin to connect. Obedience activates acceleration. Remember, this was already scheduled. Your answer does not create the blessing. It releases it into your experience. It is like unlocking a door that was built specifically for you. The structure was already there. The opportunity was already formed. Your response simply grants access. There will be growth in this season. Answering the call will stretch your faith. It may challenge your comfort zone. It may require you to release old habits or outdated beliefs. But growth is evidence that you are moving forward. Stagnation is comfortable. Progress requires courage. As you walk through this shift, you will notice something powerful, strength you did not know you had. The same situation that would have intimidated you months ago will now feel manageable. The same opportunity that once seemed overwhelming will now feel attainable. That is because grace increases when purpose is activated. There may still be voices of doubt around you. Some people may not understand your decision. Others may question your timing. But their uncertainty does not override your calling. When God schedules a moment for you, He does not require unanimous approval from your surroundings. Another thing that happens when you answer is clarity of direction. Confusion thrives in hesitation. But when you step forward, the path begins to unfold. You may not see the entire road, but you will see enough to take the next step. And that is how destiny progresses, step by step. You will also begin to see why the distractions were so intense. The enemy recognized that your answer would break cycles. It would shift patterns. It would open doors not only for you but for others connected to you. Your obedience has ripple effects. Hold on. What comes next will reveal why this answer carries generational impact. What you are stepping into is bigger than a single moment. You will be glad you stayed attentive to this revelation. Before we continue, seal your obedience in faith. Type "I answer the call" in the comments if you are ready to move when God moves. Blessing code 842 is now activated over your obedience. Let this number remind you that divine response unlocks divine acceleration. As you stand in this sacred moment of answering, I must speak to those who feel stirred to partner in this mission. When you sow through Super Thanks, become a member, or release a seed through PayPal using the link in the description or the QR code on your screen, you are not funding content. You are fueling a river of living water that reaches souls across nations. The Lord declares that when you bring your offering, He opens the windows of heaven and pours out blessing that there is not room enough to contain. I am inviting you to step into this as a prophetic act, not a casual gesture. Let your giving echo the very obedience we are talking about, swift, willing, and full of faith. As you release your seed, may oil of favor flow over your household, may doors open unexpectedly, and may provision chase you down. This is your moment to act in alignment. Sow now and watch heaven respond. Before the unexpected call manifests physically, there is one final preparation that must take place, and it happens within you. God is not only preparing the opportunity, He is preparing your heart. Because when the ring comes, your condition internally will determine how you respond externally. Preparation is not passive. It is intentional. It is the quiet alignment of your thoughts, your emotions, and your faith with what God has already scheduled. The call may be set in the spirit, but your readiness positions you to step into it without fear. Verse, you must fast from doubt. Doubt is subtle. It rarely announces itself boldly. It whispers. It suggests that maybe you misheard. It questions whether you are truly capable. It magnifies past mistakes and projects them into your future. If you allow doubt to dominate your thoughts, you may hesitate when clarity is required. Guard your mind carefully in this season. Replace negative rehearsals with faith-filled expectation. When fear tries to show you everything that could go wrong, remind yourself of everything God has already brought you through. Your history with Him is evidence that He does not schedule failure for your life. Next, guard your focus. The days leading up to breakthrough often feel unusually busy. Small issues may appear larger than they are. Minor inconveniences may try to consume your attention. But you must discern what truly deserves your energy. Not every noise requires your response. Not every invitation deserves your acceptance. Silence what distracts you from spiritual sensitivity. This may mean reducing time spent on things that drain you. It may mean stepping back from conversations that stir confusion. It may mean protecting your peace more intentionally than before. Preparation is not isolation. It is intentional alignment. Another essential step is releasing fear of change. Even when we pray for transformation, part of us clings to familiarity. The known feels safer than the unknown. But growth requires movement. When the call rings, it may shift routines. It may challenge comfort zones. It may require you to let go of what once defined you. Do not resist the very answer you prayed for. If you asked for elevation, be ready for new responsibility. If you asked for influence, be ready for greater visibility. If you asked for breakthrough, be ready for movement. The blessing and the adjustment often arrive together. This is also the season to refine your obedience. Practice saying yes to small promptings. If you sense God nudging you to act in a certain way, respond quickly. Immediate obedience in small matters builds confidence for larger decisions. When the significant call comes, your spirit will already be trained to respond without delay. Some of you must also release old narratives. You have carried labels that no longer align with your future. Words spoken over you years ago still echo in your mind. But those words were not scheduled by God. They were projections of human limitation. You are not who you were in your lowest season. You are not defined by your worst mistake. You are not confined to your past. The ring will not ask you to revisit who you were. It will invite you into who you are becoming. Let go of the identity that kept you small. Embrace the growth that prepared you for expansion. There is also wisdom in gratitude. Thank God in advance. Gratitude positions your heart in expectation rather than anxiety. When you thank Him before you see the manifestation, you demonstrate trust. And trust strengthens peace. Here is something crucial. Preparation does not mean perfection. You do not need to have everything figured out. You do not need to eliminate every trace of uncertainty. You simply need willingness. God does not require flawless vessels. He requires surrendered ones. And as you prepare, understand that this moment is not isolated. What is about to unfold has impact beyond your immediate circumstances. The call carries generational influence. It will shift patterns in your family. It will create new standards in your environment. It will establish testimonies that others will draw strength from. That is why preparation matters. You are not stepping into something temporary. You are stepping into something transformative. If this message is stirring your spirit, respond with action. Comment below and declare, I am ready. Share this word with someone who needs preparation for their own scheduled moment. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel and have notifications turned on, because prophetic timing requires attentiveness. And if this message is strengthening you, let your support be known. Your engagement helps this word reach those who are on the edge of their own breakthrough. As you continue preparing, remember this: readiness attracts opportunity. Faith attracts fulfillment. Obedience attracts acceleration. What you are preparing for is closer than you think. And in the next part, you will understand why this call does not just affect you. It reshapes generations. The unexpected call that is already scheduled is not limited to your personal breakthrough. It carries generational impact. What feels like a single moment in your life is actually a turning point in a much larger story, one that stretches backward into your family's past and forward into its future. There are patterns that have followed your bloodline for years. Cycles of limitation, cycles of fear, cycles of scarcity. cycles of broken confidence. Some of those patterns were so normalized that no one questioned them. They became accepted as just the way things are. But when God schedules a divine interruption, He does not only change circumstances, He breaks cycles. His call is not arriving randomly. It is arriving strategically. It is positioned at a point in your life where your obedience can rewrite narratives that have been repeating for generations. The moment you answer, you are not just stepping into opportunity, you are stepping into transformation that echoes beyond you. Think about the weight of that. One decision, one yes, one act of courage, and suddenly, the trajectory shifts. Your children see a different example. Your family witnesses a new standard. Your environment adjusts to the elevation that obedience produces. Some of you are the first in your family to believe this boldly, the first to pursue something greater, the first to break free from limiting beliefs. That is not coincidence. That is calling. Being the cycle breaker is not always easy. It requires resilience. It requires faith when others are skeptical. It requires stepping into spaces no one before you entered. But the scheduled call carries grace for that responsibility. God does not assign generational impact without equipping you for it. The strength you have developed through past trials was not just for survival. It was preparation for leadership. This call may alter financial patterns in your family. It may introduce new streams of provision. It may create stability where instability once ruled. It may shift how resources are managed and multiplied. Financial breakthrough is not just about money. It is about freedom. It is about options. It is about breaking the mindset that scarcity is permanent. It may also transform emotional patterns. Perhaps your family has struggled with silence, avoidance, or unresolved tension. Perhaps vulnerability was rare. Perhaps communication was strained. When you step into obedience, you model something new. You demonstrate courage. You demonstrate faith. And that influence begins to ripple outward. The call may even affect spiritual legacy. Your obedience could ignite belief in someone who was doubting. Your testimony could awaken faith in someone who felt forgotten. Your boldness could inspire someone else to step into their own calling. Generational impact is rarely loud at first. It begins quietly, through consistent example. Understand this clearly. What God schedules is never small. Even if the call appears simple on the surface, its consequences can be profound. A new job opportunity may reposition your family's future. A new ministry assignment may touch lives you will never personally meet. A new relationship may create alignment that strengthens multiple generations. The enemy understood this potential, which is why resistance intensified. It was not just about stopping you. It was about preserving old cycles. Darkness thrives on repetition, but obedience disrupts repetition. Obedience introduces something new. There is also healing embedded in this moment. Some of you carry wounds inherited from experiences you did not choose. Patterns of fear learned from observation. Habits shaped by survival. But when God elevates you through this call, He also heals you. Healing is part of generational transformation. And here is something powerful. The breakthrough may not look dramatic at first, but over time its significance will become undeniable. Years from now, you may look back and realize that this unexpected call marked the beginning of a completely different chapter for your entire family. You are not responding to this call in isolation. Your obedience is connected to people you love. It is connected to those who came before you and those who will come after you. It is connected to prayers whispered by ancestors who hoped for change they never saw. When you answer, You become the answer to someone else's prayer. Do not minimize this moment. Do not treat it casually. Do not assume it is only about personal advancement. It is about legacy. It is about rewriting what once felt permanent. It is about establishing a new pattern rooted in faith rather than fear. The scheduled call is heaven's intervention into your story, and that intervention has ripple effects that extend beyond your lifetime. You were chosen for this moment because you have the capacity to carry its weight. You were prepared for this shift because you have the strength to steward its impact. You were positioned at this exact point in time because you are capable of responding. Generations are waiting on your obedience. And in the next part, you will see how confirmation has already been surrounding you, quietly signaling that this moment was always coming. Before God releases a major shift, He often sends confirmation. Not always in dramatic ways, not always through thunder or spectacle, but through patterns, through repetition, through subtle nudges that keep appearing until you recognize them. And if you look closely, you will realize that confirmation has already been surrounding you. Some of you have been asking God for a sign, quietly, maybe even skeptically. You said, "If this is you, show me clearly." And since that prayer, certain things have been repeating, specific scriptures appearing more than once, the same message delivered through different voices, a theme resurfacing in conversations, sermons, or even random thoughts. That is not coincidence. That is confirmation. God understands human hesitation. He knows that when a moment carries weight, we seek reassurance. So He confirms strategically. He layers clarity. He reinforces direction. He allows patterns to emerge so that doubt loses its argument. Think about your recent experiences. Have you noticed certain numbers repeatedly? Certain words standing out unexpectedly? Dreams that felt unusually vivid? A sudden peace about something that once troubled you? These are not random fragments of imagination. They are signals. Confirmation does not always scream. Often, it whispers consistently. It taps gently but repeatedly until you pay attention. And the reason you are noticing it now is because you are approaching the scheduled moment. You may have felt drawn to specific passages of Scripture lately. Verses about timing, verses about open doors, verses about sudden shifts. Perhaps one phrase lingered in your spirit long after you read it. That lingering is not accidental. When a word remains with you, it is often because it is attached to your current season. Some of you have experienced dreams that felt symbolic. Maybe you were walking through a door. Maybe you received something in your hand. Maybe you were moving from one place to another quickly. Even if you did not fully understand the imagery, you woke up with a feeling that it mattered. That feeling was discernment. Others have received confirmation through conversations. Someone mentioned an opportunity similar to what you had been praying about. A friend encouraged you in a direction you were secretly considering. A stranger's words resonated deeply without them knowing why. God often uses people unknowingly as messengers. There is also confirmation in peace. Peace is one of the strongest indicators of divine alignment. When something is truly scheduled by God, even if it stretches you, it will not torment you. Anxiety may try to surface, but beneath it, there will be a steady calm. A grounded assurance that says, "This is right." Confusion fades when confirmation increases. You may not have all the details, but you feel anchored. You sense that the path ahead, though unfamiliar, is aligned. That is confirmation working quietly within you. Some of you almost dismiss the signs because they seem too subtle. You expected something dramatic. But God often confirms through consistency rather than spectacle. He repeats themes until you recognize them. He aligns multiple small signals rather than one overwhelming display. This is also why distractions intensified. Confirmation and opposition often appear close together. As God was affirming your direction, resistance tried to cloud it. But notice this. Despite the distractions, the confirmation remained and kept resurfacing. It kept finding you. You may have even questioned yourself, wondering if you were imagining patterns. But the consistency is what matters. When something repeats beyond probability, it deserves attention. God is not confused about your future. He is not uncertain about your readiness. The confirmation you have been experiencing is evidence that the moment is real. There is a shift from confusion to clarity happening right now. You are beginning to connect the dots. You are realizing that the restlessness was preparation. The repeated messages were reinforcement. The peace was assurance. The resistance was proof that something valuable is at stake. Do not dismiss what hath been shown to you. Write it down if you need to. Reflect on it. Recognize the pattern. The scheduled call was not announced without warning. It was preceded by signals. And here is the powerful truth. The confirmation was not sent to persuade God. It was sent to strengthen you. Heaven already decided. The call was already scheduled. The confirmation exists so that when it arrives, you will not shrink back. You have asked for clarity. You have asked for reassurance. You have asked for direction. And step by step, it hath been provided. The final part will bring everything together. The urgency, the scheduling, the acceleration, the generational impact, and the confirmation. You are standing at the edge of fulfillment. The signs were real. The timing is precise. The call is near. You have felt the urgency. You have seen the confirmation. You have endured the resistance. You have sensed the acceleration. And now we arrive at the moment before midnight, the final seconds before everything shifts. God says, an unexpected call will change everything. It's already scheduled. Open this urgently before 11:57 p.m. This was never about fear. It was never about pressure. It was about preparation. It was about awakening you to the reality that heaven has already moved on your behalf. You are not waiting for God to decide. The decision has been made. The appointment has been set. The alignment has been orchestrated. What you have been feeling is not imagination. It is transition. The moment before midnight carries weight because it represents completion. The old day finishes its assignment. The new day prepares to begin. And in that narrowed space, there is holy anticipation. That is where you are spiritually. The previous season has completed its work in you. The lessons have been learned. The endurance has been developed. The faith has been refined. You may look back now and see how every delay shaped you, how every closed door redirected you, how every disappointment matured you. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Everything with positioning. The unexpected call will not arrive to confuse you. It will clarify you. It will not break you. It will build you. It will not diminish you. It will elevate you. And when it comes, you will recognize it, not because it matches your expectations perfectly, but because your spirit will respond with conviction. Remember what we have uncovered. The distractions were evidence of value. The resistance was proof of impact. The acceleration is prepared. The people are positioned. The confirmation has already surrounded you. The generational ripple is attached to your obedience. This is bigger than a moment. It is a divine pivot. You do not need to strive for it. You do not need to force it. You do not need to manipulate circumstances. What is scheduled does not require your anxiety. It requires your readiness. And here is the assurance you must carry into this new beginning. God does not schedule moments to shame you. He schedules them to fulfill you. He does not call you to expose your weakness. He calls you to reveal His strength through you. You are not alone in this transition. The same God who prepared the call will sustain you after you answer it. The same God who aligned the opportunity will provide the wisdom to steward it. The same God who accelerated the timing will stabilize your steps. If doubt tries to whisper again, remember the confirmations. If fear attempts to resurface, remember the peace that underlined this message. If hesitation tries to creep in, remember that the window was revealed to awaken you, not intimidate you. Midnight is not an ending. It is a beginning. As one season closes, another opens instantly. There is no gap. There is no emptiness. There is movement. And the moment you step into it, you will understand why everything had to unfold exactly as it did. You were not overlooked. You were being prepared. You were not delayed. You were being aligned. You were not forgotten. You were being scheduled. Now, stand in confidence. Stand in expectation. Stand in faith. The call that will change everything is not a possibility. It is an appointment. Before we close, seal this prophetic word over your life. Type "I step into my NEW season" in the comments if you receive this. Blessing code 926 is now activated over your next chapter. Let this number remind you that divine completion leads to divine beginning. As this message comes to its final breath, hear this clearly. When you sow into this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal using the link in the description or the QR code on your screen, you are not giving to a platform. You are igniting a flame that carries God's word to souls standing at their own midnight hour. The Lord says He gives seed to the sower and multiplies it into a harvest of righteousness. Your obedience in giving becomes light in someone else's darkness. I am calling you to respond not casually, but prophetically. Let your seed be a declaration that you believe in divine timing and generational breakthrough. As you release your offering, may heaven release unexpected calls of favor into your life. May doors open before you knock. May provision meet you before you ask. Step into this act of faith now and sow your seed with bold expectation. You are entering a new day, and heaven has already gone before you.